Today we're going to feature Sam Fender, Dancing in the Dark, but not before I've given you a background on a man that is writing songs, that is bringing people to his, not festivals, to his concerts, there's the word, that are young, old, teenagers standing side by side, which is a huge compliment, by the way, in 2023, to know that a young man is bringing all ages to his concerts, standing side by side, with no disparity between anybody, and no form of feeling, oh, she's very young next to me and I feel very old. None of that, because they come in unison of the power and the lyrics and the delivery of this young man. Now, down below you can see Sam, please play Bruce Springsteen's Dancing in the Dark, famous song by him, and he does a wonderful version which we will hear. But Sam Fender's background, because people always say he's got such depth, so many layers, comes from the fact that he had a very difficult childhood. At the age of 8, his mother left him, and then Sam returned to his mother because he was forced out. He had then lived with his father, but was forced out by his stepmother and returned to his birth mother. And Fender received his guitar from his father, his first guitar. He became proficient using it and covered Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, Slash, amongst others. He was tormented at school for being overweight and unathletic, and he was affected by him and his mother discovering the body of a woman that had committed suicide. As he said, suddenly mortality became real at that age. Life and death became concrete. So you see how the seeds begin for the depth that this young man has and the background that has formulated such a prolific young performer in the world today of music that affects all generations, and they all want to go and listen to him. As you'll always find in the audiences of festivals that he attends or does guest appearances, a lot of people go along to see him. But we'll continue. At 12, he met Dean Thompson, a friend of his. He developed over the years that gave him more of a love for music, more of a love for playing guitar. And he recalled at the age of 14, he began writing his own songs. The same year, he learned to sing by listening to Jeff Buckley's Grace, an album his brother gave him. At the age of 15, and this is significant, his brother introduced him to Bruce Springsteen, whom he will do an amazing cover of. You wait and listen. And at the time, it was Born to Run and Darkness on the Edge, Uptown albums. Fender began playing at his brother's open mic nights and formed his first band at the age of 15. At the time, he and his mother were living in a small, crumbling flat on a council estate on the outskirts of North Shields and struggled to pay rent, as both were poor. Fender attended sixth form and he found musically minded friends. He met Joe Atkinson and they developed a friendship through their musical interests. Fender studied theatre and A-level in English language, but events of his life caught up with him and he had to disband him from studies, disband from going ahead and getting that future, because growing up it was all about going to school, getting your qualifications, going to university and college and doing well for yourself. He realized he had to take on more jobs to support his mother because his mother fell ill and she had it. There's a term in it medically and I can't think of it, but it's when you're stressed and you're waking up very tired and you feel exhausted. And she was a nurse, and I'm sure that job was so much harder way back in the NHS in England, or probably she was private, who knows. But he put aside college to concentrate on getting other jobs to support his mother, because his mother went from that situation of the father's separation, that situation of her own health, to mental health, and he had to support her to lift her back up and bring in the money. And then at the time he slipped below the poverty line, and Fender's passion for music caused him to abandon those qualifications. His uncle would help them through their adversities and inconveniences, and eventually Fender found his outlet in music. His father was then a guitarist playing in clubs around Newcastle, and their relationship improved as they shared that common passion. When he was about 18, Fender began performing in paid gigs at restaurants, and after high school he had several jobs, teaching guitars and working in a call center and a bar are just some of them. He really is a grafter, and things like Hypersonic Missiles, singles like Dead Boys EP, Beginnings, all of it encompasses his life, his struggles, those adversities that he faced at such a young age and was able to get through. And 17 Going Under, which I featured, and please check out, I'll actually attach it to this video, but check that reaction out as well. I didn't go into quite a background about him, but somebody said people ought to know in your channel a bit more about him, so that's why I'm doing it. And you know who you are out there, because twice you asked me to do it. Now, he's a fan of Newcastle United Football Club to finish, and Fender began a relationship with a girl at the age of 15 and formed his first band after they broke up. His health, people have often asked about his own health. Fender has ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and he believes that helped him focus on his music. His immune system issues has affected his touring, and there's a lot of stars today, young stars, so successful just like Sam, that have those issues with their health, and they're so in love with their music and their fans that their fans know when he is standing in front of them, it's a good day for all of them, as you're going to listen. So let's listen now. That's the background to him, and let's enjoy Bruce Springsteen's Dancing in the Dark, sung by the wonderful Sam Fender.
Let's go. I get up in the evening and I ain't got nothing to say. Come on home in the morning. I go to bed feeling the same way. I ain't nothing but tired. Man, I'm just tired and I'm bored of myself. Either baby, I could use just a little help. Can't start a fire. Can't start a fire without a spark. This one's for hire. Even if we're just dancing in the dark. This capo's fucking so high. I don't like the K we did it in. I can't start again. Yeah. Messages keep getting clearer. Radio's on and I'm moving around the place. Check my look in the mirror. Wanna change my clothes, my hair, my face. Man, I ain't getting nowhere. Sitting around in a dome like this. Something happened somewhere. Baby, I just know that this is the fucking top of my vocal range. You can't start a fire. If we're just dancing again, can't start a fire. joke is somewhere running, it's on me. Shake this world off my shoulder. Come on, honey, the left's on me. Stay on the streets of this town, and they'll be carving you up. See, you gotta stay hungry. Hey, baby, I'm just about starving and ain't down for some action. Sick of sitting around here trying to rate this boot. I need a love reaction. Come on, baby, give me just one look. Can't start a fire. Sitting around crying over a broken heart. This burns me higher. Even if we're just dancing in the dark. Can't start a fire. Worrying about your little world. This burns me higher. Even if we're just even if we're just dancing in the dark, even if we're just dancing in the dark, even if we're just dancing in the dark.
I have to say, Sam Fenn, a brilliant cover of that, and I'm glad I did a bit of a background to you to give all the worldwide audience that follow me on my channel a chance to be introduced to you and the build up to it. When it comes to the lyrics, I'm not going to break down the lyrics today because this is more of a bio about a song that I'm in love with, and somebody recommended Sam did a live version of this that I had to listen to. Thank you, Anton out there. You're the one that left the messages, and I'm just going to say I really am blown away with it, because Dancing in the Dark was the song by Bruce Springsteen. It added up-tempo synthesizer riffs to his sound for the first time, and the song spent 4 weeks at number 2 in the Billboard 100, sold over 100 million singles in the US, and it was the first single released from his 1984 album Born in the USA, and became his biggest hit, helping the album become the best-selling album of his career. Now, fun fact, when he came to Ireland on the strength of that album, my sister was dating a gentleman from the local village who was a pub owner, and one person came in and was speaking to him, and he was connected to Bruce Springsteen and everything in Dublin, what was happening. And he said, I'm dating a young lady that's absolutely, my sister was a fanatic about Bruce Springsteen from the minute she heard him. And the next thing, and she's only a year younger than me actually, this sister, so you know who you are. Went to the concert, got to meet him after, and got a signed copy of the album. Boom, boom, there you go. Now, Dancing in the Dark was also successful worldwide, becoming Australia's highest selling single of 1984, despite peaking at number 5 on the Kent Music Report, peaking at number 1 in Belgium and the Netherlands, and charting within the top 10 in 7 other countries. The song is listed amongst the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's 500 songs that shaped rock and roll. Well, Sam, I'm going to say you've shaped it as well. You gave, forget the synthesizers and all the pop little elements, you gave a raw version with a few F words that just spiced it up. That's your Newcastle humour, that's the way you get the crowd warmed up, and they loved it. And you know, when you break away from your very deep story that you tell in your own lyrics and songs, and you go into something like that, you know what that does, Sam? That just unifies my age group with those younger counterparts around them. But what I heard was everyone singing. So you break barriers on all levels, Sam, and that's an incredible thing to be doing today. And it's such a huge compliment I am giving you in 2023 to see crowds of different ages amassed to see a performer of worth, and that's certainly what you are. I'm just going to see if there's any more that okay, it says during the 2012 tour, the song again became a regular at live shows, with audience members selected to dance, not with Springsteen reenacting the Courtney Cox scene from the video, but with other band members too, especially new band member Jake Clemons. Hello, Jake. And Jake Clemons' background is, just for those, is an American music singer and songwriter, and has been the saxophonist for Bruce Springsteen. I know him because I've seen him. He stands out with his appearance and his playing. He's done some solo things for Bruce and phenomenal. I have to check that out now again on YouTube. That was after the death's band's original saxophonist, his uncle Clarence Clemons. So he took over. Keep it in the family, why not? Plus it's a great job and a lot of security, and it's well paid. Springsteen's family members appeared on stage for this song on occasion, with mother Adele doing the Courtney Cox dance at the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia on the start of the tour, and daughter Jessica dancing on stage with him in Paris on July the 5th. So that's all on YouTube. So thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed Sam Fender's version. I did. Don't forget to comment, like, and any more recommendations by Sam, of course I'll get round to them. Glad to have you back, Sam. I'm glad you were listening. Take care for now, everyone. Bye-bye.